The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Benefits of Automating IT Service Management Operations. Our guest speaker today is Ashok Srivastav, Senior Manager Solutions and Services from Kovair Software Inc. Ashok has been working with the Kovair for last 8 years and has been working on ITSM and ALM products for last several years. He is focused on the Kovair ITSM solution. He is also responsible for defining and developing business solutions, interacting with customers to understand and translate their requirements into solutions and on-site, offshore consulting for implementing complete product lifecycle at large enterprise implementations. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Mr. Ashok.
Thank you very much, Aradhana. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ashok Srivastav, and I am with Kovair for the last 8 years. I am working for ITSM and ALM platform, and I have been working mainly on the ITSM practice at the Kovair. In today's webinar, we will try to understand what are the benefits organization will achieve when they automate the IT service management operation. ITSM, as we all know, is practiced by all organizations having the human and IT resources. The difference is the small size organizations which have less number of resources manage their ITSM manually or through Excel sheet or the Word documents to capture the operations data. Medium and large organizations use tools to manage their IT service management operations. The topic of discussions in today's webinar are ITSM automation requirement from the organization perspective. What are the challenges in setting up the automation? What are the benefits which organization will achieve when they automate the IT service management operation? How Kovair will help organization in automating their operations? And at the end, we'll have a glimpse of the Kovair ITSM studio. So from the organization perspective, what are the different process areas where the automation is required? The service desk management to manage the service desk, managing incidents, problem and changes, managing assets or the configuration items, knowledge-based management, managing suppliers and contracts, accounts in which the companies and the contacts comes into picture, and also customizing the solution, basically the field forms, process workflows, reports, and dashboard. Typical IT service management lifecycle starts with the user. The user can be both internal as well as the external user. User has access to different type of assets, maybe the laptop, the printer, the IP phones. Even the applications on which the user is working, there is also IT asset. MS Office, SAP, or any other license which basically organizations have given him to basically use it for their performing their duties. Organization may have the service desk, and let's say the user logs in, calls the service desk to say that he's unable to access the application URL on which he is working. Service desk found that it is a problem and it is converted to incident, and the incident management team, that is the L1 supports, start looking into that. L1 Organization also maintains the knowledge base in which the solution and the details of the previously resolved incident and problems are captured. L1 refers to the knowledge base in order to find out if there is any record of similar type of incident which have been reported and what was the solution for that. If the solution is not found, then the incident is escalated to L2 team, that is maybe the problem. Problem team works on the problem, does the root cause analysis, and identifies that a change is required to resolve this problem. Change team works on that. The problem gets resolved by implementing the change. It is communicated to the L2. And L2 then basically finds the solution useful, and that solution is passed on to the knowledge base, and the problem is solved and it goes to the incident management. That is communicated to service desk and ultimately also communicated to the customer. So the purpose of showing this particular slide was to identify what are the different stakeholders, different processes involved in IT service management lifecycle. You can see the repository like the configuration item wherein the asset details are stored. We have the users database. They have the access to the asset. There's service desk managing the service request fulfillment. There is a team of incident management working on the incident resolution, investigation and resolution, problem management, and the change management. Also, the information gathers in between is stored in the knowledge base so that that can be reused in the future, resolving the future incidents. What are the challenges in setting up the ITSM solution in an organization? The important thing first, when we decide that we want to automate our IT service management operations, is to document what are the requirements, what is my organization requirement, or what I expect from the tool to do it for me or my organization. The first one is the business requirement. Whatever artifacts I am maintaining now, maybe in the isolated tools or in manual form, that need to be documented. What are different fields, attributes, forms, roles, access groups, all these things need to be documented so that when we start implementing, I have got all the information for implementation. Process workflow. Even in the manual, when the organization is working manually on the basis of Excel sheet or Word documents or isolated tools, even there they follow the process. So what is required is to document what is the process workflow as of now. Maybe they can use some tool like Visio to document that. And the main purpose of documenting the process workflow is when we are going to implement them in the tool. So first thing is we will be sure that whatever I have documented is there in the tool. And later on when the implementation is rolled out, then when you are going to test it, when it goes live, then you have the use cases ready for it. Like this was the process workflow. This is what I wanted to achieve out of that process workflow, and whether the tool is giving me those expected results or not. Business rules and logic. This is again a very important area. The service level agreements, what are different SLAs, what is the logic behind it, how the priority is getting calculated on the basis of, let's say, severity and the impact. What are threshold limits, the escalation mechanism, notification, all these things need to be documented. The better the documentation, the easier will be the rollout, and the easier will be to cross-check or to verify that after automation things are working fine. Reports and dashboards. Now reports, every organization is using report. Now all those reports should be part of the document, because report also through the reverse engineering gives you the idea from where the data is coming. So if we document all these four things, the business requirement, the process workflow designs, business rules and logics, and the report, then we are ready to start configuring or implementing our requirement in the tool which we have selected. The next challenge is once I know that these are my requirements, now I have to identify the tool which fits in my requirement, my organization's requirement. The first and the foremost question is like, how easy or difficult is to implement my requirement in the tool? Because there are tools in the market and the leading tool where all of the features are out of the box available. The customization is difficult for the leading tool, and if you want to customize, then the consulting cost is too much that organization will say, okay, instead of customizing, I will mold my what you can say is the process and the working as per the tool. But many a time that is not the case. Organizations want that the tool should work the way I want. It should not be the other way around, that the tool says I have to follow this part, then I have to follow that part. I don't want that. So the first thing is that how easy or difficult it is to implement my organization's requirement in the tool. The process workflows. Now there are, most of the tools customization of process workflow, but there may be limitations. So when you are basically selecting a tool, and if you have that, in the previous slide I have shown you that the process workflow design you have documented using the Visio. So with the Visio you are sure that these are my process requirement, and you can check whether these type of process workflow can be configured in the tool which you are selecting. Reports and dashboard. A lot of reports comes out of the box from the tool. But as we all know that reports are never ending. Today I have a set of report, tomorrow my management can say, okay, remove this column. I want to have this information in the report, and the report should be grouped in the status, and within the status I should be grouped in the priority. And the priority is like the critical should come on the top, then very high, then high. What I'm trying to say is like report requirement keeps on changing, and the new reports are always asked from by the stakeholders. So the question to be asked is whether I can create the report, new report in the tool easily or not. And another important thing is like reports, many tool allows you to have the drill down capability in the report. And with the drill down, I mean is the report, let's say the pie chart is shown. It's showing that 10 are the critical requirements. There are 5 very high requirements, 3 are the low priority requirements. I want to see what are those 10 critical requirements. So if I click on that particular segment of the pie chart, system should show me, okay, these are the 10 items. So I can see there itself. I don't have to go somewhere else to find out what are those 10 requirements. So this is the question to be asked, whether the tool is supporting that. Another very important requirement is like I may have a requirement that I say that when the email is coming to a particular email address of my organization, then system should automatically create the ticket. That may be email, or that may be alerts coming out from a device monitoring tool. So whether tool allows me to create automatic ticket. Another important area is when I am customizing. So whether tool impose any limits in terms of like I can only create 10 new fields, or I can, one form is upfront, you can only create 1 new form. So is there any limitation? And if the limitation is there, then what is that number? Is it 5, 10, or is it 50? So depending upon that, your decision changes. This is another very important area. That when I want to customize, for example, let's say I want to change the process, or I want to create a new report, I want to add or remove some fields from the form. These are very commonly used changes in the system. So the question is whether these can be done through the tool configurability capability, or I need to do some coding. And if I need to do some coding, then whether I have got that skill of people in my organization or not. Another important area is the customer using the third-party tool. For example, let's say my organization is having a big data center and we are using asset discovery tool to basically get the asset details of the data center. Now the question is like, is there any integration available or the tool support integration with a third-party tool? If it not, then things will be a manual kind of thing. There will not be a perfect handshake. Like the asset discovery tool will discover the asset. It will populate in, let's say, the Excel format, Excel file. Then I have to manually import that Excel data into my system to populate the configuration items. So having a real-time integration is also sometimes very much required. Otherwise, the complete automation benefit I won't be able to achieve. Whether tool will allow me to implement the important business rules. For example, let's say there is a requirement like system at 8 p.m. daily should review all the data and generate a report, let's say open critical incident, and as a PDF format, it should forward it to, let's say, the audience support manager, L2, L3 support persons. So this means that it is automatic. There is no manual things involved. Through the scheduled business policies at a particular time on a day, system should execute the report, convert it to PDF. There will be a predefined text email template. Attach that report in the template and send it to the concerned person. So whether that kind of requirement, the tool which I am selecting will be able to meet. And the last and the foremost important thing is like how soon I can get the new tool up and running, whether it is in weeks or in months, or let's say it requires 4 or 5 months to implement the tool. So that will also drive the organization's initiative and the decision making in order to like how soon that tool can be implemented. So far I have discussed about like what are the different requirements from the organization perspective and what are the things organization looks into when deciding about the selecting the right tool for the organization. Now, benefit of automation, as we discussed in the second or third slide, is basically out of these process areas: the service desk management, incident, problem, change, configuration items, knowledge base, suppliers and contract, accounts management, and reports. So whatever the requirement I mentioned in the second or third slide, the same is the benefit I have to see that what are the benefits we achieve when we automate the IT service management operation. In the service desk management, with the automation you get a benefit of submitting requests through multiple methods. As I mentioned, through the email. So email sent to a particular email address will automatically generate a request in the system. When the person calls up at the service desk, they should be able to generate the service request. And there can be a portal of the organization wherein you can go and submit that request over there. So you get multiple methods of creating the request in the system. It allows you to categorize and prioritize the service request. You can define multi-function process workflows for different type of service requests. Like say IT requests will have a different process workflow, HR will have a different process workflow, and the facilities a different process workflow. So the automation helps you in defining process workflows for different type of the request. You can define business logic to restrict who can create, who can edit, who can view. You can say, okay, the person who has got the access to the portal, they can create the request, but only, let's say, the service desk person can edit the request. No other person can edit the request. only the authorized teams can view the request. So you can define all these restrictions when you automate. So the information is classified as per the requirement. You can provide access to create online service catalog, and through service catalog the request can be created. From the catalog you can monitor and you can cancel the requests which are no longer needed. You gain the ability of automatic sending, receiving and recording approvals of the service request. Basically, once the request is created, then through the process workflow or through other methods, you can send the details about the request that can be reviewed and approval can be granted. System is able to generate automatic emails notifications, and let's say on the request completion, it goes to the requester or the request fulfillers. Different type of reports can be created through the automation. Let's say percentage of the calls received during the first contact, percentage of call resolved by the service desk staff themselves without going into the L1. What was the average time in responding the request? What is the submission and closure trend? If I want to see the request received during a period, then what are the, by that type, what are the percentage, how much was the service request related to IT or the HR or the facility or any other type of service request. When we automate, the benefits achieved in the incident management, like in the service request here also, different channels can be used for creating the incident. For example, by calling the service desk from the web portal or the service catalog. Automatic generation of incident is also possible through the email or the alerts from the device monitoring tools. As I have shown in the IT service management lifecycle, the request and the incident was getting created from the request, and the incident was also getting linked with the problem or change and the configuration item. So that kind of thing is available. So the benefit of this link is, let's say I have raised a request for SAP that I'm unable to access the application URL. So tomorrow if I want to see through this linkage, like for the configuration item, let's say the SAP, what are the different type of service request or the incident or the problem or the change reported for that particular asset item? You have the complete visibility with this linkage. Priority can be automatically calculated on the basis of severity and impact. For example, if the ticket is critical and if it is impacting my complete business, then the priority will always be urgent. And let's say severity is very high, but it is impacting a user and user, then priority won't be that high. So you can define your own metrics, and based on that, the system automatically calculates the priority. And these are the automatic things are the benefits of the automation. It enables automatic initiation of process workflow for incident resolution. With this, it means like nobody has to remember. I mean, as soon as the incident is submitted in the system, the process will start. It goes to, for example, let's say the for the categorization of the incident. After the incident is identified, it's logged in. Priority is calculated on the basis of urgency and impact. It is categorized. Then investigation and diagnosis is done. Resolution, recovery, and the closure. The SLA, when the business rules are defined, then automatically SLAs are updated in the incident as per the business rule. So no manual intervention. What I'm trying to say is, when you automate, everything is getting out of the business rules, the process, the policies which you have created. Things are automatically getting updated. You can calculate how much time was taken to analyze and resolve that incident automatically. Different type of reports and metrics like submission and closure trend. I want to see the incidents which are open and have already breached the threshold limits. How many incidents were closed in within the SLA and outside SLA? What is the statistics with respect to repeated incidents and the known incidents? I want to see the graphical view of incident by impact, by severity, priority, status. Which were the incidents that were escalated to problem or to a change. So all these type of different reports and metrics are possible with a click when you automate. Problem management. It allows you to detect and classify the problem. Problem can be automatically created from incident based on some business rule. For example, let's say breaching of SLA. Let's say a ticket was to be resolved in 4 hours, and I can define one business logic over there saying that 70% of time, if it has elapsed and the incident is not yet closed, then it should be escalated to problem L2. So that kind of automatic creation of problem by copying all the information which are there in the incident automatically, and it goes to the next set of people in the escalation ladder, that is possible with the automation. This is same as I discussed in the incident, the priority calculation based on severity and impact. This is again very important. You can link multiple incidents to a single problem, and so that with the provision to close all the linked problem, all the linked incident when the problem is closed. The scenario which I have shown you in the IT service management lifecycle, that unable to access the URL, application URL. In the morning, let's say one user came and there was some issue, he raised the ticket incident for that. And then that was converted to a problem, people start working on that. After that user, let's say 10 more users have raised the same type of incident. Then the L1 will basically associate all those incidents with the problem record already created for the first incident in the morning. And when the problem is resolved and closed, then system will automatically close one for which the problem was created and 10 other incidents which were linked to the problem record. So all the 11 incidents get closed. If required, you can assign problem into change. Like the way I shown, like the problem when root cause was done, then it was found that some change need to be done at the server end, and for that a change record was created. So this says the same thing, that assign problem to a change record if required. It allows you to record root cause analysis, workaround, resolution details of the problem. Linking problem with CI provides ability to view impacted items. You can create knowledge base record that I have shown, that once the problem was closed, then the L2 can evaluate whether this resolution need to be stored in the knowledge base in order to help the similar incident or the problem occurring in the future. So the person can go into knowledge base and refer to it for the resolution. And then different type of reports and metrics are also available for the problem. With the change management, initiate change record directly or also from the incident and problem. Many organizations says that change should not be directly created in the system. It should either come from incident or problem. So if you want that kind of thing, you can select that, or you can also select that change can be created directly. So it's up to the organization requirement. And these are the benefits what I'm discussing now. These are the benefits you achieve when you automate the IT service management operation. You can link multiple incident problem with change. You can define the change advisory board And also you should be able to define vote-based review and approval process. For example, in the change, you can say that in my CAB, change average board, I have 3 members, and when all the 3 approves, then only the change should move forward. In one of them not approved, it should not be moving further for implementation. And there can be different kind of scenarios that should be possible with the automation. You can identify the impacted CIs with the CI to CI relation. That means if this asset has got some subcomponent, so if I make a change in that asset, what is the impact of that change? And then you have the different reports and metrics over there. The configuration item should allow you to basically capture different type of assets, like the configuration computing item, the peripherals, the printing, the applications. Different type of items can be captured. System allows you to store the detail of the supplier, who supplied, when it was supplied, what is the warranty detail, what is the support duration, when is the start and expiry date of support. That kind of thing is possible over there. You can establish relation between CI to CI, and you can view this is more important. So when the asset is there, if the linkage is there with this request, incident, problem, and change, then you can pick up one asset and you can see what are the different type of tickets, incident, problem, and change raised for that, and what are the resolution mechanism for that. It gives you a complete history. You can detail the license details, total number of license, how many are used, how many are available as of now, what is the expiry date. All these details can be captured. You can define different business rules for configuration items. You can add new type, new field, new form. And automated alerts can be there for relevant teams when an asset is in an authorized state. So if the state is something which not authorized, then it can generate the email alerts. Knowledge base basically allows you to create knowledge base from the problem closer. So with the problem closer, you have the root cause for that problem, you have the investigation details, you have the workaround provided for that problem or the resolution provided. All the details are there that you can capture in the knowledge base, and that can be reused in the future. There can be review and approval process defined, and that will help you in identifying which article to be published, that kind of detail. You can calculate the ranking of the knowledge base article based on the usefulness, and that is updated automatically. System should allow you to identify, like, these are the knowledge base articles which I want to be used as FAQ. So when I am going to the FAQ list from the knowledge base, I should be able to do that. And that is the benefit of automation. The supplier and contract basically refers to the configuration item. So the asset who is supplied, the details of the supplier's contract when they supplied that asset, what are the different assets supplied by the supplier, contract start date, end date, notification like when the contract is nearing to the renewal. So all these things are possible automatically in the automation. In the accounts management, that basically deals with the company detail. You can define company calendar. Sometimes your customers are in different time zones, and the SLAs, for example, is to be handled as per their time zone. So that helps when you maintain the calendar in the accounts. The different details of the contact. You can define onboarding process also for automating the company onboarding. And the different contracts can be captured for the companies. What are different dashboards, reports? Most of the tool provides good collection of out-of-the-box reports and dashboards. So that is a very big benefit. You don't have to think about it. Reports are already there out of the box. And tool also allows you to create new reports using standard report as well as the third-party tools like the Crystal reports. You can create multiple dashboards. You can export report in Excel, CSV, or Word, PDF format. And you can also get the scheduled report, as I mentioned, that at 8 p.m. system should generate and send the report automatically. So far what we have seen is what is the organization requirement from automation, what are the things to be remembered when you are selecting a tool, and what are the benefits I achieve when we automate the IT service management operation. Now I will give you a glimpse of what Kovair ITSM Studio helps. This is the Kovair architecture framework. So we have built-in applications for requirements, ALM, as well as the ITSM also, vendor management, customer onboarding, that task, the timesheet that is already in the system available out of the box. We have the Omni process, which helps you to define the process workflows for different process areas like the company onboarding, the service request, incident, problem, change, knowledge base also. The application foundation services helps you in defining the security, collaboration control, and the access control. Only the right user with the right authentication can access the system, and you can define like what a user can do in Kovair and what a user cannot do in Kovair very clearly. And this outside red circle box is the Omnibus integration framework. This allows you to integrate Kovair with third-party tools. As I mentioned some time back, that discovery tool, asset discovery tool that helps in detecting the asset of the data center. So if you integrate that with the Omnibus, through Omnibus with the Kovair, so the data will be in the real time synchronized with the Kovair database. Kovair features, it's web-based, 100% 24/7. So don't need any client software, just through the URL. And most of the popular browsers like the Firefox, Chrome, IE are supported by Kovair. Kovair support manages all the relevant process areas of ITSM. We have a service catalog, fully configurable. Process automation, as I mentioned in the last slide, the Kovair's Omni process, task-based process automation engine. And you can basically create any process. If you can draw it in a paper, that can be implemented in Kovair. Kovair process engine allows you to automate the business rules. Some of the examples I have already given, like generation of report at a particular time, automatic calculation of the priority, defining of SLAs, threshold limits, all can be achieved through the business rule engine, the business policy. The reports and dashboards are available out of the box, and you can create as many reports as you want. Multiple options to create tickets. We have out of the box best practice templates and processes. Access rights can be defined and customized solution. That means we can customize the solution exactly as per your requirement. Multiple process workflows can be defined for each process area. For example, in the service request, we can have a process for IT service request, HR service request, the facility service request. So multiple processes can be defined. Allow the process versioning. So we have a active process, and tomorrow if I want to change the process, I create a new version. Then that becomes active and the previous version becomes inactive, and you can always audit through the previous versions. It allows you to define parallel paths, and you can define the merging logic, whether all are completed to be done or percentage or any condition based. It allows you to review, vote-based review is possible, and you can see the open task and the processing history about the task which were completed, who has completed, on what date and time it was completed, and what were the different attributes the person has updated at time of completion of task. Security, it allows you to define what a user can do, can see and cannot do. We have integration with LDAP. The customization can only be done by the person who has got the access right as an administrator to workspace setup and site setup. Data access management, that means the crude metrics, create, read, update and delete, that can be managed through the access group. As per the requirement, you can send alert or notification to the authorized users. This is about the SLA. Now here in this slide you can see we have around 40 plus tools for which the adapter is available as of now. And in this slide, you can see also some adapters for the help desk related tools. That is, we have the adapter for the Remedy and the ServiceNow. And apart from that, there are, you can see different domain and tools are there. And with the adapter, as I've shown in that slide about the Kovair architecture network, that you can basically integrate with any of these tools, and data is synchronized in the real time. We've offered two flavors. One is the internal service desk and the service provider. The components of the internal service desk are the service catalog. In the service management, you have the service request, incident, problem, and knowledge base. Under asset management, we have the configuration item, the suppliers, the contracts. Accounts management has contact, changes, and reports and dashboard. In the service provider flavor, we have the service catalog, service request, incident, problem, change. It is same like there. The only thing over here is in the accounts management, we have the companies and the contact. Companies are nothing else but your customers. Contacts are the user within that customer company. Different service plans, and for each service plan you can have the contract and the contract details. So these are the two offering from the Kovair, two flavors of the Kovair ITSM Studio. Now we will quickly go through some of the slides or the screenshots of the Kovair product. So as I mentioned about the process workflow, so you can see this is one company onboarding process workflow, and looks like it's a Visio diagram, but there is a logic behind it. So, and this is easily, you can say, drag and drop visual interface, and anybody with a small training can do it. So this is for the company onboarding process workflow. This particular slide refers to incident management. So the incident is submitted, goes into review and search knowledge base. Once the incident is reviewed, in the knowledge base we found a solution. It's a known error, implement solution, confirmation, update knowledge base, and the incident is closed. And the incident can also be escalated to problem or to a change. And when a problem is created, the incident will wait till the time the problem is closed, and as soon as the problem is closed, it will automatically get closed. And same is the case with change. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago that the problem was created for one incident, and later on 10 more incidents were raised, but they all link to the same problem. So when one problem is closed, then all the 11 incidents will also get closed. This is the process workflow for the problem resolution, the change management. This is a glimpse of the Kovair service catalog. You can see that different options are available for reporting incident, creating a problem record, submit a change, or reports can also be placed over there. And this is all configurable. You can, define your own options over there easily. This is how the home My Task page looks like. So all my tasks are visible over there. Then for what activity, what is the detail of the task, what is the status, everything is visible over there. This particular slide shows you the detail of the company and the contacts. So these are the detail. This is how the service plan. So you have the gold plan is a ticket base. What is the ticket cap? What is the response time, resolution time? And then it basically allows you to use it into the different contracts. So here you can see that service plan is used for this particular contract of SAP Pico. This is defined for company Acme Corp, this contract, and for this particular asset. So asset, company, and the service plan. So that level of deep Kovair allows you to go. Different type of assets have got different type of attributes. So here in the screen you can see two different type of assets are shown. The one is about the server. So you have this manufacturer, model, serial number, operating system, OS version, RAM, etc. And for a printer, you have a different type of attributes like the peripheral type, the manufacturer, model, and serial number. There you don't have the CPU count or disk space, that kind of thing. So what I'm trying to show is that for different type of asset, you can have, Kovair allows you to define different forms. This is an example of the supplier who supplied that item. And you can also see that the list of the items supplied by the supplier is also visible. Then also it's visible the contract of the supplier. This is the incident and problem form, knowledge base, and the change form. Here you can see different type of reports. This is a trend report. It shows you the submission trend and the closure. And this is intelligent report. So if you click on any of the segment over there, it will show you the details records over there. The bottom report is a kind of matrix report wherein you can see that it is by the severity and impact. So from the graph you can see that in the first one, 4 critical tickets were related to affecting user, 3 were affecting the group, 21 tickets were affecting the department, and there were 16 critical tickets which were impacting the which were the critical. This is the pie chart. This is the tabular report. So Aradhana, I think I am through with the session, so we can take up the questions.
All right, thanks for the insightful presentation. Let's quickly take up the questions. I request you to read out the questions and their answers so that all our users may listen to the insights. You can get the questions in the questions doc. Can you see the question doc, Mr. Srivastava?
Okay. Yeah, I can see it now, right. So would like to know, Poonam has asked, would like to know about how ITIL v3 framework will help in designing the ITSM for an organization. So thanks, Poonam. So basically, ITIL framework is a kind of framework. The guidelines are there and it can be customized as per the organization requirement. And there is a difference between the framework and the standard. Like ISO 20000, ISO 9000, these are the standards where the processes and checkpoints are defined, and these must be followed in order to, get the certification. But ITIL is a generic framework. It has a guideline, and you can basically customize it as per your organization requirement. It doesn't say something mandatory kind of thing. One tool, let's say the ITSM tool which your organization is planning to use. Tarun has asked, can the tool automatically carve out the actual time? Yes, when the task is generated for the user and they started working on that. So basically, task is generated with the status not started, and it's a queued task, let's say generated for 5 persons, and 1 person changed the status to in progress, started working on that. And there are 2 ways to calculate the actual time. One way, the person started the working on it, provide the timesheet module also. So there the person can enter it manually. So automatically it can be calculated, and the logic I have explained you just now. What kind of tools are required for network management design and implementation? There are different tools I think available in the market for network management design, and some of the tools, like you might have heard, the device monitoring tools which generates automatic alerts. So I'm not sure about the tool names as of now, but yes, there are different many tools available for that network management design and implementation. Is it all about Kovair ITSM Studio? This is asked by Nitesh. Well, I think I was allotted only 1 hour time, so in that time what max, and this was not a product demo, so if you want to hear more about Kovair, so you can see our website, and you can always mail us at sales@kovair.com. And one thing, Nitesh, this was not a product demo session, that's why focus was not on product. If you want to hear more about the product, you can always call us at sales@kovair.com. I did my ITIL V3 certification to kick off my career at some path. Can you suggest how to take it further? Well, I think that question probably, Aradhana, can you answer that question? Is it integrated with AD? Another question from Irfan is it integrated with AD? If yes, how will non-AD users with third-party client approval required? Yeah, Kovair has an integration with Active Directory, LDAP. Is there any provision of IT Studio in critical incident can generate alert by SMS? Yes, that is very much possible. What is cost of this software, like monthly or yearly? I think for that you have to contact sales@kovair.com. So, Aradhana, I think that's all were the questions.
Mr. Srivastav, we have other questions also. If you can drag down the scroller from your right, you can see other questions. Can you see them?
I'm doing that. I'm just trying to do that. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think, okay. So, is there provision for, okay. My question is, can we integrate SMS with the tool? Yes, we have the capability of SMS integration, and yes, we can integrate with SMS. Can the tool be used for biometric company? We have manual CRM. Yes, any type of, any domain of company wherein you have requirement of IT service management, Kovair can fit in over there, and it is customizable as per your organization's requirement. Any product of Kovair can help to manage data center. We don't have actually what I can say is a tool for that domain, that is the asset discovery domain. So, Aradhana, any other question? I think that's all.
We have other questions. If you can see, it's from Kuldeep Kumar. What is the cost for this software? And there are other questions from Srinivas Rao. Can the tool be used for biometric company? We have manual CRM.
Yeah, that I have answered, biometric. And the cost also for Kuldeep, like what is the cost of the software monthly or yearly? So for that I have mentioned that they have to get in touch with sales@kovair.com, which is shown on the screen. And from there, the salesperson will give the costing. I am not the right person, authorized person for that.
Right. And we have just received one other question, how tool licensing works.
Yeah, Sanjeev. Yeah, Sanjeev. So basically licensing is Sanjeev. We have a different category of licenses, the admin, the standard user licenses, and the pricing varies as per the license. And we have also the license concept of the named user licenses and the floating. Named user licenses can be used only by the person that are by name, and the floating licenses are kind of, let's say you have taken 50 user licenses, and at a particular moment of time only 50 users can use Kovair. So that is the concept of the floating license category. Does the tool send periodic notification in case of critical incident based on? Yes, very much. This is a question from Vimal. Yes, Kovair has got that capability of basically, depending upon the SLAs, And you can say that whatever SLA is defined, and if the SLA is breached, then send the notification. You can also define threshold limit. Let's say the 70% of the SLA is the threshold limit. So you can have notification also when the threshold is breached. So that is also possible. How access control works, group roles. This is from Sandeep. Yeah, access control is like this. You can define the access groups, and the users within that access group will be governed by that access rights. And access rights in Kovair, you can define whether they can add or not add, whether they can view. And when you say view, within the view also there is category, whether they can view all the incident, they can view only specific category of incident, they can view only their incident, or they can view the incident of their group. So that kind of granularity is there in defining the access groups. Manikandan has asked, can we be able to set up monitoring and generating automatic ticket for SQL database? Yes. I mean, with the help of SQL database the alert, when the alert is generated, you can integrate with a tool, and automatically ticket can be generated based on that alert. Abdul has asked, Kovair tool is similar to Service Desk Plus. Yeah, I mean, it's an IT service management tool, and as I mentioned that we have different flavors like the corporate internal help desk as well as the service provider. So it depends upon the requirement. Sanjeev has asked, is it cloud-based or in-house setup? We have both the SaaS version as well as the enterprise version available. Enterprise is on-premise. So depending upon your requirement, we have the solution. Sandeep has another question. How change approval works in Kovair? Sandeep, as I said, that this session was basically for sharing my ITSM knowledge with you. About knowing more about the product, you have to contact us and we can schedule a demo for you in which we can discuss in detail how the change approval works. Sudhakar has asked, is the tool having SSO feature? What is SSO? I'm not sure, Sudhakar. Abdul is asked, can we generate weekly, monthly, yearly reports from Kovair? Yes, you can generate weekly, monthly, and annual report or any other type of frequency. For example, quarter report for that quarter. So that kind of feature is there. Kovair has document management system. Yes, we have document repository, and Kovair also has got what you can say is a add-in with the Microsoft Word, which allows you to basically extract the items as record from Word document. Okay. Okay, SSO is single sign-on, Pradeep, good. So what was the question? Question was Kovair having, yes, in that sense, yes, we have the SSO feature. Mahesh, any development tool apart from ITSM tool to integrate with Kovair? Apart from ITSM tool. Yes, I have shown you that slide. So, Aradhana, can I go back to my slide?
Yes, Mr. Srivastav, you can definitely do that.
Okay, fine. So let me share that adapter slide so that this particular question will be more clear. Just give me 1 minute. I'm going back to my slide. Yeah, so this is actually for the question like what are the different adapters. So on my screen you can see what are different adapters available as of now for the Kovair. Automatically mail sent to client, yes. So Kovair allows you to notify to the users which are there in the system, as well as let's say you have the supplier, you can send notification to supplier or to your customer or the customer employees, that is the contacts. So yes, we have this facility of automatically sending mails. Any other question, Aradhana?
I think that's about it for today, and we are already running out of time. So there would be less time remaining with us to take up any more questions. So you can wind up the session for today.
Okay, it was a pleasure having webinar with TechJig, and any questions, as I mentioned, that you can always contact us at sales@kovair.com, and visit our website for details. Thank you, Aradhana.
Thank you, Mr. Srivastav. I'm really thankful to our guest speaker for conducting this wonderful webinar today. It was indeed a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on techgig.com by tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Mr. Srivastav, for all your time. Have a great evening ahead.
Thank you very much.